Alrighty, people, how you darn? Hopefully you're having an absolutely fantastic start of your week. If I can be 100,000% transparent with you guys, the only thing I'm really thinking about right now, and this might be awful to say, but if I'm 100% honest and transparent with you, all right, the only thing I can think about right now is playing the college football game, because I just got early access. I'm making my dynasty, and obviously I'm going to make content for that on my solo channel, and it's the only thing I can think of. It's what I want to do, but sometimes, you know, you got to look beyond stuff like that. You got to say, you know what, I'm here for the community. We're going to do some mock drafts together. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to get better at fantasy football today, and that's what we're doing on today's stream. So do me a favor, hit that like button to show some love. Simple way for you to help support the show. I see you guys in the chat. What's up, Austin? Bobby D's in the building. What's up, Chase? This is going to be a one quarterback league. Powerhouse says, who will be the quarterback one this season? It's Jalen Hurts for me. What's up, Joel? He says, what is going on with Jordan Addison? Honestly, fantastic question. 52 days until kickoff. We're getting very, very close. Gator says, let's see how many likes we can get. I appreciate you, man. What's up, Matthew? Says, smash and like Koala Bears for life. What's up, Scribbles? Welcome in. What's up, JSC? Welcome in, guys. I appreciate you big time. If you do want to join today's mock draft, very, very simple. Why is my face so small? That is weird. But if you do want to join the mock draft today, it's very, very simple. All you got to do is join our Discord. The link to our Discord is in the description. So make sure you're joined up if you don't get in this time for next time. But once you get into the Discord, you'll see a little Fantasyland tab with orange footballs, and I will actually show you here so you can see what I'm talking about. And right under that, you'll see the announcements tab. So here we go. All right, this is what the Discord looks like. You can see on the right-hand side, the Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs, announcements. This is where the link will go, okay? That's where the link will go. It will be first come, first serve. Just be aware that I do not determine who gets in. It's very much a free-for-all. So just so we're all on the same page. But I'm going to go ahead and choose... I'm going to choose the 3 spot today. And I'm going to go ahead and send this link out to you guys here in 3, 2, 1. And this will be one quarterback, PPR, tight end premium. Is anybody else excited for college football? Is it just me? Because it's literally all I can think about right now is the college football game. It's the only thing on my mind. Scribble says, I'm ready for camp. Blurbs, same. What's up, D-Stone? Christian says, good rookie video today. I love Jermaine Burton. Jaden Daniels is a great prospect too. Yeah, man, I love both of those players you mentioned, and very excited about them in year one. I think Jermaine Burton's a sneaky last round pick in your drafts. You know, the way no one saw Jaden Reed coming out of nowhere, I think there is the same upside for Jermaine Burton this year. But all right, I am going to go ahead and get this thing popping. This is a one quarterback PPR tight end premium mock draft. 30 seconds on the clock, and Joel is up first for us. And he goes CeeDee Lamb at the 101. Then Christian McCaffrey goes at the 102. I'm at the 103. I have a choice of Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra. You know, I've really been swapping between Tyreek and Jamar Chase. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. I'm going to go Tyreek Hill. But my rankings do have Jamar Chase at the top. I just want to see how this feels. Or as my wide receiver too, rather. I want to see how this feels, though. JSC says, what's the worst round this year in your opinion? Second round is gross. Yeah, second round feels disgusting. Like it's very difficult to make the right pick in the second round, in my opinion. So I would have to agree with you. Second round, by far my least favorite round to pick in. Everything feels like a reach. And that's why if I am choosing where I am on the draft board this year, it's either in the top 3 or 4, or it's the 110 to the 112. And I say that because the 203, the 201, and the 202, it doesn't feel like you're reaching on players there. But as soon as you get to like the 204 onwards, almost every single player feels like a reach to me. and it's just really difficult to make the right pick. So that's where I currently stand on that. But as we see so far, 3 running backs off the board, 7 wide receivers off the board. Puka makes it 8 wide receivers. And then we see Jahmyr Gibbs as well come off the board. So, in the first round, 4 running backs, 8 wide receivers. That's pretty standard at this point. We also see Saquon at the 201, Harrison at the 202, JT at the 203, and this is exactly what I said. I think the start from everyone from the 110 to the 111 to the 112, I think they have the optimal start in fantasy football drafts this year. After JT, Marvin, and Saquon, everything feels a little bit like a reach. I mean, you can make a case Kyren Williams might be the best pick, because if he has the same workload he had last year, if he's just as efficient, if that offense is just as good, then there's a realistic chance here that Kyren Williams is the steal of the first, 12 to 13, 14 picks. But it's very uncomfortable outside that top 3. If I had to guess who the Charger RB1 is, it's Gus Edwards. I feel very confident in saying that. Kristen says, I want Malik Washington to do something this year, but not sure he'll get much opportunity. Yeah, I would have very low expectations for Malik. Gator says, went Sun God. I know he will get volume. I like it. JC says, do you think Achane and Wright can be the next Gibbs and Monty? Wright isn't... I don't really see like a Monty type build. I do think Wright is probably going to take over for Mostert at some point. But I don't really see like a Monty type of build with Jalen Wright. I don't think he's as physical as Monty is, if that makes sense. I'm on the clock here, and still, like, everything feels like a reach. Genuinely. I was hoping Derrick Henry or Travis Etienne might fall to me. Neither of them end up falling. So I might go Nico Collins here. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to grab Nico Collins at the 210, start 2 wide receivers. If I ended up with Derrick Henry or Travis Etienne, I would have felt much, much better about that start. But, of course, it didn't go that way. It didn't go my way. You got to go your own way. Sam Laporta at the 211 just feels a little too early for me. Devontae Adams at the 212, then Travis Kelce at the 301. Scribble says, if everyone's a reach, then no one's a reach. True. What's up, Yick? Yick says, Hall, Bijan, or Chase. This would be Chase, Bijan, and Hall for me, but they're all in the same tier. As Mike Evans comes off the board. And I can see the community is starting to not draft Devon Achane as high as we typically see him go off the board. Which is interesting. We're gonna grab Debo here. We're gonna grab Debo Samuel. We'll start 3 wide receivers: Tyreek, Nico, and Debo off the rip. I like that combo. When I actually looked at the wide receivers available to me, 30 seconds is very difficult, and there are guys that I've ranked higher than Debo, but oh well, we'll take Debo there, starting 3 wide receivers in a row. And let's see how it works out for us. As Josh Jacobs comes off the board there, then DK Metcalf. JSC says Breece Hall will be RB1, improved O-line, 2 years removed from the ACL, and Rodgers is back. The only thing I'll just say, guys, is something we do have to keep in mind with Breece Hall is he had, 90-plus targets last year. I'm not saying he's not capable of that. I love the Waddle pick there from J-Mac. I'm not saying he's not capable of 90 targets in a year again. But I think the offense is going to be completely different. I don't think Breece will hit that 90 target mark. What was the offense last year in New York? It was whoever the backup quarterback was there, all you're trying to do is essentially toss the ball down to Breece Hall, target Garrett Wilson, just so many dump offs. I think the offense will drastically change. I think we will see Breece Hall more efficient the offense will be better. He'll have more scoring opportunities in the red zone, but I don't think he'll be that involved in the air as he was last year. And honestly, if he is, you can make a case that the offense hasn't improved. Gerard says, in Dynasty, what would you be willing to pay in picks for Debo? I'd say 2 seconds. I wouldn't pay a first at this point. Matthew says, I'm going to reach so hard I'll pull a muscle. Is Achane worth it over Pacheco Etienne? I'm not taking him over those two names, but I can understand how his upside is higher than those two names. As we see Waddle, Moore, Pacheco, Achane, White, and Josh Allen all off the board there. Debo in receiver show makes me want to draft him more now. That's a red flag. Yes, that is a red flag. In fact, I hate when those shows come out because it always makes it more difficult to draft the players in the shows that we like. So I definitely get where you're coming from. What's up, Styles? Welcome in. As Tank Dell goes off the board at the 312. Powerhouse says, Mahomes really has a chance to be the quarterback 1 overall. I think, yeah. I mean, you know, we've seen him multiple years over 22 points per game. You know, we're only really 1 year removed from him being top 3 in points per game. So he adds Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. I certainly think there's a chance. He wouldn't be my pick for quarterback 1, but I certainly think that there's a chance. What's up, Albert? Welcome in, my man. Yeah, he averaged 25 points per game in 2022. That was second best. So we're not that far removed from Mahomes being one of the better quarterbacks in fantasy. So something to keep in mind. All right, so we see Tank Dell, Devonta Smith, Malik Neighbors, Mark Andrews. I love the Cooper Kupp pick. There goes Jalen Hurts. I was definitely considering Jalen Hurts at my next pick. We also see George Pickens off the board. I love you, Macy. Please stop putting my boy too high to draft. It's killing me. All right, I was wondering how far Stephon Diggs was going to fall. I couldn't draft him because I already had Nico, but that seems like an incredible start for Bobby D. To get Diggs as his third wide receiver and already have an anchor running back, that feels incredibly good. In fact, I think the best strategy this year is going wide receiver in round 1, then an anchor running back in round 2, and then build around the wide receivers. And I'm going to make a video on that. I'm very excited for you guys to watch it, but I wholeheartedly believe that's the best route. All right, so I'm going to grab my anchor RB here in Alvin Kamara before things get a little nasty. I don't want too many nasty boys. Matthew, thank you for the super chat, my man. He says, I just wanted to say you are awesome. Go get some hot chippies. Thank you for everything. Who you riding with on the road to glory? Go Gators for me. So at the moment, I'm doing Dynasty mode, and I'm rocking with the University of Virginia. But over on my channel, I'll be doing both Dynasty mode and Road to Glory, and I don't know who yet I'll do for Road to Glory. I'm not sure what route I'll take just yet. Okay, I'll be honest. I saw both Trey McBride and Dalton Kincaid available, and I saw Team 1 and Team 2 both had tight end. I didn't expect them from a team construction perspective to go double tight end in the first 5 rounds. 2 tight ends in the first 5 rounds. I know it's a tight end premium, but it's only a 0.5 premium anyway. So I'm not going to lie, that was quite surprising to me. I wouldn't build a team that way. I thought I was reading the board well, but they're going to go double tight end. It's only a half point premium. Again, I don't get that. I don't think that happens in a real draft. Maybe it's easier to do in a mock draft. I was expecting one of those guys to be available. They're not. All right, I'll take my L. Again, I don't understand it from a team building perspective. It's only a half point premium, but I don't get it, but here we are. I went Ken Walker there, so Kamara and Walker are my running backs, even though I skipped out on RB until my 4th pick. We see Kirk, Flowers, and Cooper also off the board there. But yeah, man, I think I don't know what I'll do in Road to Glory. TBC still. JSC says, I think Stroud will be better than Purdy, Love, and Prescott this year. Well, his ADP is higher than all those names, so he should be. That's the expectation. What are Team 1 and 2 doing? I don't know. Joel's going tight end heavy. Kelsey's Gator says, I was debating between Amari Cooper and Christian Kirk. They're both in the same tier for me. All right, we see Terry McLaurin off the board, as well as George Kittle, Keenan Allen, David Montgomery. That's a little early compared to where I'm used to seeing Monty come off the board. I'm not saying it's a wrong pick by any means, by the way. Scribble says in a half point, I don't know if that's a strat, but to each their own. Yick says, who would you rank these players in order? London, Olave, Evans. And I believe that's the order I actually have them ranked. Let me see here. Best ball. I've got it ranked London, Evans, Olave. So London, Evans, Olave for me. JSE says, what are your thoughts on starting 2 running backs from the same time at once if one plays receiver like and other in backfield? That was hard. That was hard to digest that one there, JSE. I don't fully understand. I guess you're saying, like, am I okay to go double running back if one of them's a receiving back? Hopefully you're not starting off your draft outside of Derrick Henry with someone who doesn't catch passes out of the backfield. You know what I mean? Dustin, what's up, man? He says on Flock Fantasy, when will you upload your draft cheat sheet? We've never made a draft cheat sheet. It's definitely something that we've talked about, but a lot of people, what they do is they just, you can actually export our rankings. And if you export our rankings, you can kind of mark them off as you go. But we are actively working on better tools for the site, just so you guys know. Number 1 overall quarterback for me, it's still Jalen Hurts. Yeah, it would be Jalen Hurts for me. His situation didn't get that much worse. I think Allen's got far worse, losing Stephon Diggs. They signed, obviously, Devonta Smith to a long-term deal. They still got Goddard. They brought in Saquon. So for me, I would still say I'm on the clock here. Give me a second. I'll grab Lad McConkey here as my 4th receiver. But yeah, it would be Jalen Hurts for me still. My quarterback 1. Has all the weapons, still going to rush a lot of for a lot of touchdowns. Might not be the same as we're used to seeing with Saquon there, but he still is the safest pick if you're going to go number 1 quarterback, in my opinion. Scribble says Pitts looked healthy in his workout video, as we see DeAndre Swift off the board. Gator had another part to his question. Is the 409 too early for Higgins? No. I mean, that's where I would expect him to go. As Chris Godwin comes off the board, I do love me some Chris Godwin. And then Kyler Murray. Definitely love some Kyler Murray as well. So Rashee Rice off the board. If I knew Rashee Rice was not suspended, that'd be an easy pick for me. I feel like wide receivers are gonna fall off in a second, so I am gonna go wide receiver here, and it's going to be Calvin Ridley. We're gonna grab Calvin Ridley as our 5th receiver. He's much better priced this year compared to last year. Christian says, in my keeper home league, I'm keeping AJ Brown and Derrick Henry. I'm excited for the draft. I love that. No, they don't give me any pause, JSC. What's up, Macy says, when do you think our order will be set for the draft, for the redraft leagues? Soon. I think probably next week we'll do that. I think probably next week or the week after. Very, very soon, though. All right, Jake Ferguson off the board, as well as Evan Ingram. Zach Moss, damn. I mean, he was all the way down the ADP. I thought I was going to be able to get him way later. But Macy, you got to stop pushing players we like up the ADP, brother. I know you like the players that I like, but you're killing me by putting these guys I love up the ADP too far. You're doing it with Pickens. You're doing it with JSN. You're doing it with Moss. You're killing me, brother. You're absolutely killing me. We got to keep letting these guys fall, okay? I do not want to come around late August, early September, and Zach Moss is a 6th-round pick. You're killing me, dog. You're killing me. George Pickens is a 3rd-round pick. Help me. Help me help you. As Rome Odunze comes off the board, Zamir White, Christian Watson, Najee Harris, and now Selimo is on the turn. 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and of course, Pat Mahomes as well. He does have a chance to get a stack here, but he goes Addison, and then he goes Hopkins. So he says, I actually don't want the stack with any of those Kansas City wide receivers. He's going a different direction. As Keon Coleman comes off the board at the 8:02. Matthew says, I'm horrible at one quarterback. Please forgive any silly picks. No, you're fine. You're fine. No silly picks. You're doing great. Hollywood Brown off the board as well at the 8:03. Gator says, thought Raheem Mostert is, though Raheem Mostert is not the de facto starter, what do you think about him going over Najee? That's where I would have him. I've been preaching that most of the offseason. I am definitely drafting Mostert this year. I do think he is the de facto starter. That's what's weird about it, is I do think he is the starter. I still think he'll have a very similar role. A-Chain will be very, very good. He's very efficient. They're gonna want to get him the ball, but I still think Mostert will have the same role. So I'm very much in on drafting Raheem the Dream. As Trey Benson also comes off the board. Macy, you're killing me, dog. I mean, we used to have 9th round Zach Moss. Please help me. Tony Pollard comes off the board. Either way here, though, I've got a fantastic option. So Jaylen Warren comes off the board. How do I want to play this? I mean, I'll grab Xavier Worthy. I'm not the biggest Xavier Worthy guy, but to get him in the 8th round, 1st round wide receiver connected to Patty Mahomes, I'll take the shot on that. And unless Team 1 and Team 2 want to go 3 tight ends, I'll probably have the tight end of my choice at the 9:03. But honestly, I feel like if you do that at this point, you're definitely trolling. But I'm not going to tell them not to do that if that's truly what they want to do. As Jordan Love comes off the board for Capti Timor, then we see Nick Chubb. And then after Nick Chubb, what is Joel going to do? Well, that's a little bit high for Nick Chubb, no? So, Joel, do you feel like Nick Chubb's going to be ready to go week 1? I wonder if that might be how you feel. Devin Singletary is the pick. I'm in a difficult spot here. So Samuel goes off the board. I kind of do want to take a tight end, but there's still enough left that I like. Same with quarterback. I feel like after Gus Edwards, I am guessing a little bit at the running back spot. So I'll take Gus as my RB3. I do think he's the starter. They've put that on their depth chart that he's a starter. It makes sense. He's with the same OC he played with, last year, where he had such a great year in Baltimore. So I'm going to bet on Gus the Bus there. So we see David Njoku off the board as well as Jameson Williams. And who's Macy going to draft here that I love? Who's Macy going to draft here that I love? He's going to draft Jermaine Burton. Watch. He's going to push him up the ADP. I'm sorry, Macy. I'm just joking. Brock Bowers is a great pick, though. Actually, if Gus Edwards wasn't there, it would have easily been Brock Bowers for me. And I probably should have drafted Brock Bowers. I think that's maybe the pick of the draft so far. Let's get Brock Bowers in the 9th round. Fantastic pick. Absolutely fantastic. Again, the tight ends fell really strangely because we had people go 2 tight ends here, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The tight end 11 and Brock Bowers. Love the pick. I think it's fantastic. As Javonte Williams and Tajay Spears come off the board. Joel says reached on running back with that last round. Understood. Hey, we all do that from time to time. I've been known to reach here and there. You're not alone. You're certainly not alone, brother man. TJ Hawkinson, I like it. You know, if you're in an IR league, you can just put him on your IR and then fill that with another roster spot afterwards. I think that makes a lot of sense. Is it weird that I'm taking Njoku over Dallas Goedert? What would be weird about it? What's weird about that, Gator? I don't think it's weird. Why would it be weird? I don't think so. Jaden Daniels at the 1004. So C. Nichols is going to go double QB here. Kid Witt Stees. Currently 3 running backs, 4 wide receivers. He's got Goddard and obviously Kelsey, Hurts as well is what I meant to say. And he goes Romeo Doubs in the 10th round. Macy on the board here. He goes Khalil Shakir. I don't mind the pick. Curtis Samuel goes at the 9-2. So to get Shakir that late, I don't mind it at all. As Joey B comes off the board as well. Then Adonai Mitchell, Tyler Lockett. Oh, wow. I mean, I'm not the biggest Austin Eckler fan, but I will take Austin Eckler at the 10-10. Where did Brian Robinson go? Brian Robinson goes at the 807. I do think they should be a little bit closer in ADP. I don't think they should be 2.5 rounds or so apart. That feels too drastic. But I'll take Eckler as my 4th running back. I'm actually totally okay with that. So Joel, currently only 3 receivers, 3 running backs. He gets his 4th there. That it makes it a little difficult when you go double tight end to fill out some of those spots. But of course, we know these guys are going to be putting their tight ends at the flex spot. So that's the rationale behind it. But he does get Brandon Cooks there and Jerry Jeudy. Then Marshawn Lloyd comes off the board. And beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Who doesn't have a quarterback right now? It's me, it's Tebow, and it's Bobby D. We all don't have a quarterback, and I still have one of my favorite picks on the board. That is Dak Prescott. I will take Dak Prescott in the 11th round. The guy who averaged almost 21 points per game last year. And they didn't add any running backs that signified to us that the offense is going to change. I think they'll throw the ball a ton again. 4th in points per game Dak Prescott was last year, and I got him in the 11th round. I just think there's so many valuable quarterbacks down the board. Like, are we certain that CJ Stroud is going to outscore Dak Prescott this year? Because the way we currently have ADP and the way people are drafting these two names, people are like with confidence assuming that that's going to happen, that Stroud is going to outscore Dak, even though he's all the way down here. I mean, you could even ask the question about, Patrick Mahomes. Are we sure Patrick Mahomes is going to outscore Dak Prescott? Probably. It's very likely. But it's just interesting how far apart these guys are right now in drafts. As we see, Kendre Miller, Zeke Elliott off the board, and Chuba Hubbard. Bobby D says, man, I got sniped. I was one pick away from my Burrow Chase stack. Ah, yes. So let's see who you end up at quarterback. There's still some good options on the board. But that would have been nice. The Chase Burrow stack in the 10th round would have been nice. Because Jalen Hurts has shown more recently than Watson. Oh, this is Njoku. Look, Njoku was great last year. He broke out. You could very realistically say Njoku's the second option in Cleveland through the air. I don't think that's the case with Dallas Goedert. So I think you can make a case for either of those names. They're both fantastic options. Josh Downs in the 11th round, I really like. Then Dotson, Shaheed, Wicks, Leggett. By the way, I keep hearing people say Leggett. I've always been saying Leggett. What about you guys? I keep hearing people say Leggett, though. I'm wondering if I'm starting to say it wrong or something. And there, Macy does take one of my favorite players, Jermaine Burton. He knows what he's doing. He knows. Pat Frymuth off the board. I'm trying to think through my next pick, honestly. Charbonnet's off the board there. I don't mind Rico as an option. Actually, we're going to grab Troy Franklin. We're going to grab Troy Franklin here. Mike Williams off the board. Haven't really heard any news on Big Mike. I mean, I haven't heard anything negative necessarily, but I haven't heard any like he's progressing well. We have high expectations, all that stuff. I've not really heard any of that either. As Jaleel McLaughlin comes off the board. And I am the only team without a tight end at this point. There goes Money Mooney. Michael Wilson. And you know what? Is it time to take a tight end? Yeah, we'll grab... Jeez. Do I have to draft a tight end? I mean... I guess I'll grab Cole Kmet. I don't freaking know. I'm not really hyped about any of the options on the board. Cole Kmet's probably what I would say is like the most overrated dynasty tight end. But hey, we know how high DJ Moore's going. We know how high Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze going. Why not Cole Kmet? Why not Cole Kmet? I mean, I can tell you why not, because he's not actually that good. But averaged 10.7 points per game last year. Was a tight end 9. I don't know. I don't know. There goes Rico Dowdle off the board. Me and Macy. Again, there's a mind meld here between myself and Macy. Absolute mind meld. I like the Wan'Dale Robinson pick. We've heard, obviously, really good things from real NFL players on Wan'Dale Robinson. He's got a big fan base within the NFL. He's a good player. He just needs to stay healthy. That's really the biggest thing for Wan'Dale is can you maintain your health? That's hurt him his entire career. Macy, my brother from another mother. The only other thing I will say, guys, is I am going to release some college football content and Madden content on this channel. I just put it in the chat for you. Go subscribe over there if that interests you at all. If not, genuinely no worries. I don't mind. But honestly, only subscribe if you are interested in college football or Madden content over there. First video might come out tomorrow morning. We'll see. I'm currently in week 5 or 6 of my franchise with the Virginia Cavaliers. And if I have enough time today to edit it, it will probably be out tomorrow morning. As Wan'Dale Robinson, Rico Dowdle, Kamani Vidal, Baker, Schultz, Wilson, Tracy off the board. And tomorrow night, by the way, we'll be live on the Dynasty channel. So keep that in mind as far as scheduling goes. J.K. Dobbins off the board. Ben Sinnott. I like that pick. I was going to take a last-minute shot on Ben Sinnott myself. I am worried that Zach Ertz is going to play a much larger role than people are anticipating right now. And I think if I had taken Brock Bowers at the 903 instead of Gus Edwards, and then I still got Eckler, and I could have patched it up with Zeke, and then still we got Brock Purdy available as a quarterback. I mean, that might have been the better path there. I mean, the guy who averaged the 5th most points per game at quarterback is still on the board. And again, are we sure that Brock Purdy does not score as many points as CJ Stroud? I don't want to keep pounding on CJ Stroud, but this is why I find it so difficult. Are we certain Brock Purdy doesn't outscore CJ Stroud this year? I'm just asking the questions no one's asking. Where's Noah Fant? We're going to draft Noah Fant here. That's one of my sleeper tight ends of the year. And Matthew, I didn't want to take him too early, but I took him there at the 14-10. But yeah, do you guys know what I mean? I mean, Brock Purdy in the 14th round, he was a quarterback 6 last year on a points per game, the quarterback 5. And I don't know, guys. It's so difficult for me to draft CJ Stroud at his current ADP. I just find it so difficult. But all right, to end today's stream, I'm going to answer 5 questions and 5 questions only. All right, so the first 5 questions that are in the chat, I'm going to answer them for you. Do me a favor, hit that like button to show some love. I did release a video today on this channel telling you guys about rookies that you should draft. If you're hesitant to draft Trey Benson this year, I would encourage you to go watch that video. We are starting to have people edit for us, which is awesome. The only reason we're able to do that is because of your support on the Flock Fantasy site. Our editor edited that video, so go check it out. It's pretty great. All right, question number 1. Any marriage advice? I'm getting married in October. Marriage advice. I think I'm learning every, day, every week, every month, every year, trying to get better. I guess this is what I will say. What is important to her, should become important to you. And honestly, I feel like if you guys can both do that for each other, I think everything else will fall into place. Honestly, like I think that's as simple as I could say it, but I think that's the most important thing. If what's important to her is important to you, and if it's not currently important to you, make it important to you. And the same way goes around for her as well. It's not just your job, but what's important to you should now become important to her. And if it's not, it should. And if both of those things fall into place, I honestly, like everything I'm thinking about, I think that covers it all, really. Question number 2 out of 5 is from Chase. And by the way, congratulations on getting married. That's awesome, Christian. Chase says, in a 12-team draft, what pick do you like the least? Yeah, the picks that I like the least are like the 106. I'll be honest, like I want a top 3 pick or a bottom 3 pick. The 110, the 111, or the 112. Those are the picks that I like the best this year. So I guess I could say the 104 to the 109. It doesn't mean you can't win from those picks. It just, the second round is really why I hate it. It's just the second round is so difficult. Matthew, this is question 3 out of 5. He says, do you think what Addy did is a cry for help? His life and career on a line when what is happening? Right. So right. Jordan Addison, he's always got a problem with driving. I mean, honestly, at this point, the amount of money that you're making, just hire a driver. Honestly, just hire a driver for yourself. You can afford it. Put it in, in your budget and make it happen. That would be my advice to old Jordan Addison. But I think he'll be fine. We see this kind of stuff all the time, every single offseason. Normally it's not the same driver, each time, but we see it often. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I appreciate you big time. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you do want to watch my Madden and college football content, I'll put a link in the chat to my channel, my solo channel that you can go subscribe to. Anyway, that's it. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching.